good friend of mine named Gan, who I met on Twitter, lives in Iran. And the culture that he grew up in was very different from that of the United States and the West in general. Their homosexuality between males is prohibited by law, but transsexuality is not necessarily seen as something deviant. In Iran, you are sentenced to gender reassignment if you are outed as a homosexual. Um, and I think that this produces probably a very different strata of trans people there who are not necessarily, you don't necessarily identify this way. And so he got in trouble with the Twitter police because he said that he believed that some trans people regret transitioning. I think this is probably true. Uh, I think this is probably true for a lot of trans people, whether they would admit it or not. I don't think that identity is ever a solid thing. It's fluid and it fluctuates. And there's nothing inherently wrong with this. Whatever the Twitter high priests, however they joke about it. I think in a lot of ways it's probably a reaction to having to navigate an increasingly complex marketplace of identities. I do also think that there's probably some sort of technological or social solution for this down the line. Doing away with the market altogether would be a start. It would decrease pressure on people to settle on a single identity that they are then to carry with them throughout their lives. Uh, you know, Transitioning was seen as something horrific, 20 years ago. And now it's seen as a great thing, but wanting to transition back, well, that's horrific. That's a betrayal, of what you are, what you intrinsically are. These motherfuckers need to go and they need to read Heraclitus. Everything is in flux. There is no static state of anything. I would not even venture to say that death is the finale. These people are ignorant. I'm glad to see that there is a great deal of trans acceptance today. I think that's a great and beneficial thing in the West. But the form that it's taking is just the same exclusionary bullshit that the LGB section of that community went through. Gay men kicked the ladder down behind them to lock out lesbians, and lesbians did the same with bisexual men. And then, the trans are finally getting their day. But it's just going to be the same thing. I don't know why it has to function this way under capitalism. And once you see it for what it is, participating in it becomes far less appealing. And I simply wouldn't have it.